Hey, everybody, welcome to the Table 18 podcast. My name's Cuddy, and that is
Damon Conklin.
What's up, D? How was your 4th?
It was awesome. Ate like a pig, laughed like a clown. Had a wedding that I went to in Wilhelmina, Oregon. Shout out to Omar and Charlene.
A shout out to the newlyweds.
That's right.
Omar and Charlene. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Was it a good time?
Great time, man. Bunch of tattooers tucked away in a barn in the middle of nowhere. What could go wrong, you know?
Yeah, on 4th of July.
On 4th of July, we had almost no visible fireworks.
Which is
and
crazy.
A lot of tacos. We've all
fireworks, all tacos.
Yeah, we've all jumped the shark with the fireworks a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, where you make them, yourself or rearrange them. And
yeah, for sure. My 16-year-old was like, hey, I want to go to this barbecue with all these people and, my friends. And I was like, all right, cool. And I had to run it down to where I was like, look, between me and you are a firebug and you are not the quickest of cats at the best of times when you're messing with fire.
Right.
And there has been plenty of times where I've grabbed you out of the line of said fire, where you're like staring at it. And I'm like, It's like, I'm going to let you go. If you light off fireworks, I need you to lock in.
Yeah.
And understand that none of these people that you're going to be with, they might like you and love you, but they don't love you like a parent.
They don't have that connection.
Yeah. They're not going to, I need you to lock in, in you're a horribly vain person. I love you.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't want to be disfigured. It's going to be a bad life, right?
Yeah.
You got your vanity from me. And
these are not the body mods you're looking for.
Exactly. But besides that, it was good. It was low key for me.
Yeah.
I ate a steak.
Any day that's a steak day is a good day.
Good day. Yeah. Ate a steak and chilled out, man. So I got a question today.
Got an answer.
Always. The question would be, what is the best burger stand or burger joint in the Seattle area?
Man, there's been a lot of good ones, man. I used to like this one that was in like what was it, like a silver, those like silver bullet.
Like trailers?
Yeah. Why am I brain dead today? It was in one of those like outside a strip club on Pacific Avenue in Tacoma.
I've never been.
I don't know. They were cheap and they were good, but I'd say the best one had to be this one that to this day I have to say my favorite ex-girlfriend, Roxanne Carpin.
Shout out to Roxanne.
Shout out Roxanne, a wonderful woman. We agreed to meet on our first date at a burger stand somewhere in the South End. I don't know, somewhere like Renton to Federal Way, somewhere in between all of that. I don't know.
So if you know what kind of burger stand was it?
It was in an old like photo mat, they used to have these they look like tiny houses in the middle of parking lots.
Sure.
And they had taken over one of those, and it was, to this day, perhaps the most amazing burger I've ever.
If you know, in the comments, tell us in the comments. I personally would say Quick Pick.
Quick Pick.
Dick's is a favorite. Dick's is comfort food.
Dick's is fine. I live by one, so I eat it.
Yeah, I've eaten more Dick's in my lifetime than probably any other burger.
Yeah.
Right? Me and the wife sat down one day and tried to add up how many Dick's burgers we'd potentially eaten. And conservatively, it's 1,000.
You know that I'm not a condiment guy, right?
Right.
Now, Dick's only started making burgers without condiments available a few years ago.
Yep.
So I had not eaten a Dick's burger until I don't know, recently.
Here's a funny story about that. The first time I ever ate a Dick's burger, I was about 12 years old. Yeah. And I walked up to the thing. Yeah. To and I started asking that, and this might be my convoluted memory. I might be making this up, but I swear to God, this is true.
Don't let facts get in the way of
this
story.
No, totally. Yeah. So I was like, I want it without, because I was not a condiment guy. I want it without this and without that, and started making demands.
And they're like,
and they started ringing it up to take it off.
Oh, really?
They were going to charge me, and I didn't have enough money, so I just had to run it, right? Yeah, and that was like my first. I know for a fact that was the first time I ever ate a burger with relish on it.
Wow.
Right, and probably mayonnaise. There's mayonnaise on the deluxe, right? Yeah, right. But as an old man, I will tell you that aging and maturing is realizing that if you take 2 Dick's cheeseburgers and you rip off the bottom buns and you slap them together.
That's how I roll.
That's how I roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
The cheeseburgers are
2 or 3.
Yeah. So I guess we should probably ask our guest what his take is. Brad.
Man, the answer to that for me has changed over time. Once upon a time, I would say the best burger was Red Mill. Had Red Mill?
Yeah.
They used to make good burgers. I haven't eaten there in a while, but more recently I ate at this place, Loretta's Northwesterner. And I think it's in West Seattle. Oh, man.
Really?
Their burgers are top notch.
Have you had the Burger Boss out there? Have you tried their burgers in West Seattle? They're good. Yeah, they're worth it.
Okay.
Now, is it just me, or does it seem like the burger game has really gone up in the last 10 or 20 years?
It has. Well, now you got like smash burgers.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Those are good. Yeah, they're good. Yeah. So. I had a summer when I first bought my Blackstone that I was making smash burgers and having everybody over.
Yeah.
And my neighbor had made his wife a burger. I was like, hey, do you guys want burgers? He's like, no, I'm cooking burgers. And I brought one over and they split it. And then he made his wife burgers that night. And she was like, this doesn't taste good. Can you ask Thorne if I can have another smash burger? What's
smash
wrong
burgers are good, yeah.
Yeah, it's something about
well, they're all char.
Yeah, dude.
Char.
Yeah, for sure.
You know where I had my first smash burger? Bali.
Really?
Really?
For whatever reason, I just hadn't tried one yet. And like, we're in Bali and we had been eating a bunch of local food. And we're just like, hey, you guys want to go get a smash burger? And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Burger. You had me a burger.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
You are the Burger Boss.
That's right. Yep.
There it is.
You've had that tattooed for
27 years, something like that.
Long enough.
Long time.
You are a master burgermeister.
I'm into it.
Point.
Yeah, I'm super into it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you guys ever notice you mentioned Dick's Burgers? For me, it seems like Dick's Burgers is almost a litmus test to see how long you've lived here.
Sure.
Right.
Because I notice a lot of the newer transplants here aren't down with Dick's Burgers. They're like, their fries are soggy and their burgers are crap.
Which is true.
Yeah, it's true.
But we love those soggy fries.
Right. But the people that have been here for a while, those are usually the people that like.
Well, and the thing for me, like I said, it's comfort food.
It is comfort.
Like from I don't go there I know exactly what I'm going to get, and I know exactly the nostalgia it's going to stoke in my head.
Yep.
You know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Little Woody's because I do.
You do
fuck with Little Woody's a lot.
Their burgers are
good.
Their
fries are really good too, man.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And shout out to Marcus for giving us Woodies, man.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus.
I love it when Marcus gives me a Woody.
You know what? One thing we haven't mentioned in this back and forth is Burgermeister.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Where does it live? I mean, like, I'm not the biggest Burgermeister fan.
Oh, you don't like them, huh?
I mean, they're mid.
Okay.
Like, I'll allow it. A burger is a burger.
Yeah.
Like, you got to try really hard to fuck up a burger.
Yeah.
Right.
And
which is what I love about them.
Yeah, right. And typically when you fuck up a hamburger is when you make it, and it's not even the cost. But for whatever reason, once you get into like the $25, range for a hamburger, there's some shit on it that is going to fuck it up. Or you put some shit in it to make it.
Well, the expectation gets high.
Yeah.
Because the more I pay, the more I expect.
Exactly. Dude, at some point I want the burger to do my taxes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, some food is just not meant to be too highfalutin.
That's right.
Absolutely not.
Just keep it simple.
Absolutely not.
We don't need caviar. And
arugula.
I don't need truffle on it. You're right. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of truffle on the fries. Like I will tell you sometimes the truffle fries.
Okay.
But
okay.
I'll allow it.
It's like basil and tomato soup.
Okay.
If
we're fighting today, is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fight today.
If we're talking highfalutin, we're fancy in these parts. Right. Anyway, Brad, man, fucking thanks for coming. We should probably introduce you. This is Brad Holden. He's a author, historian, journalist, podcaster. You are a polytalent, and some of your shit's riveting, man. Like I brushed up on it yesterday, and I just, projected some of this stuff from the YouTube onto the TV and was watching it with my wife.
Oh, cool.
And I watched that B. Haverfeld thing, which was B. Haverfeld. Is that what her name is?
B. Haverfield, yeah.
Yeah. It blew me away, right? I don't know if you got a chance to catch that, Damon, but...
Been a blur the last few days.
So B. Haverfield, right, is she's the queen of neon here in the city.
Oh.
Her handwriting is the Dick's logo and Ivor's.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she did the Pink Elephant.
Yeah. I am bummed that I didn't. I'm going to watch it immediately.
Oh, dude, it was fucking...
Chubby and Tubby.
Yeah. We have a bunch of it. You've tattooed a bunch of it on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is cool, man. Like,
wow.
You know how the pink elephant sign has the 4 little elephants at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
They're representative of her children.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That is.
Like, yeah, it's kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool personal touch.
B. Haverfeld?
B. Haverfield.
Haverfield.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, I look for these stories that people don't really know about and try to bring them to the surface. And the B. Haverfield one was one of them. I kind of just stumbled upon this by accident. And I was like, how do people not know about this lady who designed all these iconic signs back when women especially weren't doing that sort of thing?
For sure.
I was happy to bring her story to the masses.
Yeah, she was a riveter too during World War II, right?
Riveter.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
She was an actual riveter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, over at, I'm assuming Boeing, because she's from
Correct.
there.
Yeah, during World War II.
So yeah, man, a lot of the stuff I've seen from you is like I said, is crazy. You talk a lot about the criminality here in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that didn't start till like 5 years ago, though. The criminality in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, right. When it became a dystopian hellhole.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, it was the chop, right? It was or the Chaz, or
that was the beginning of the end.
beginning of the end, right? Somebody please turn off the lights on the way out of this dystopian hell.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But you covered a lot of the criminality in the past, right? And tell us, if you can, well, one, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm a local author and historian. A lot of my work has to do with local vice history, vice being drinking, gambling, drugs, prostitution, people behaving badly. And
our favorite.
I'm into it.
Right?
Yeah.
And
you had me at behaving badly.
What I really am trying to do is document all of the outlaws and gangsters and criminal nonconformists from Seattle's past.
Yeah.
As I have a Substack page, and as I say on the Substack, all the delinquents, degenerates, and dirty deeds from the Pacific Northwest.
Oh,
That's
dude,
what I try to document and cover.
About yourself, you're a local at this point, if nothing else, right? Are you from here originally?
So I was born in Seattle. I grew up mostly in Spokane on the other side of the mountains. And then my family moved back here when I was 16. And I've essentially been here ever since.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you're from here. Yeah. What was it that drew you to this? Like what was that moment for you, that lightning rod moment where you were like, this is the path that I'm taking?
Yeah. It happened kind of late in life, actually. So I always wanted to be a writer. Those were always the people that I kind of idolized growing up. Everyone from Hunter S. Thompson to the Beats to whatever phase I happened to be in life. I was always looking up to the writers. That's kind of was always my dream. And then when I was in my 40s, like I said, it was kind of late in life. One of the things that I enjoy doing is I go out to like estate sales and flea markets and stuff. And I look for little odd bits from local history.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy doing this, finding something cool, bringing it home and researching it and finding its backstory. And probably about 15 years ago, I was at an estate sale in Ballard. And I was rooting around in the basement trying to see what I could find. And I came across an old moonshine still. And I knew what it was right away. I was like, this is super cool. It was an old copper one. I could tell it was probably from the Prohibition era.
Sure.
With the patina and everything. And I was like, this is cool. If this is here, what else can I find? So I started looking around and I found a box of paperwork. And I started reading through it. And it basically told the history of this moonshine still, which was that the guy, the original owner of it, was using it to make moonshine during Prohibition, got popped by the cops.
Wow.
Went to jail. And this just instilled...
But they didn't confiscate it still, though.
I think the family ended up getting it back and it became like a family heirloom at some point. They just kept it in the basement.
That's pretty cool.
It was a multi-generation.
Totally. Yeah. Some people have grandpa's medals. Some people have grandpa's still.
Exactly.
I'm more to the grandpa still side as far as my family.
Yeah. It instilled in me. I was like, well, what did happen here during Prohibition? Because usually when you hear about Prohibition and
it's Chicago, New York.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Never really hear,
maybe Philly a little bit.
Exactly. You never really hear Pacific Northwest or Seattle for that matter. So that instigated me to do kind of a deep dive into what was going on here. And I spent a few years researching it, going through old archives and things like that. Anything I could get my hands on that talked about it. And I realized there was a really cool story that happened here that had never been documented before.
Yeah.
with some really fascinating people. Roy Olmstead, Al Hubbard, the subject of my second book. The list goes on. So now I finally had an idea for this story. I just didn't know how to go about it. And I had this very serendipitous meeting with this guy who just happened to have one of his works published, also pertaining to local history. Cool. So I was like, really? So I kind of picked his brain, and through meeting him and talking to him, it was just this chance encounter led me to this publisher that ended up publishing my Seattle Prohibition book.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Awesome. It was published the same week I turned 50.
Nice.
And that was my entry into writing.
And you haven't looked back
since, and I haven't looked back. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's funny too. It's like, I feel like an important part of our identity as Northwesterners is to be able to connect to history that never gets told.
Right.
And like, we all know about the East Coast and the Midwest Prohibition, but nobody knows about the stuff here.
Exactly.
And clearly they were characters, because
lots of characters.
Yeah.
I have about 1 million fucking questions for you.
Right.
Like, I am a firm believer, as weird and woo-woo as it sounds, I don't have very many woo-woo ideas, but I definitely believe that cities have memories, right? Like, it's almost like this organic thing that, like, if nothing else, our collective memory is imbued into this thing. And whether or not we carry that on to the next generation is up to us.
Sure.
But I've spent enough times in cities. This one is one of those in particular, at night by myself, roaming around, being there when it's those haunted times, right? Like, and you can just feel it. It's palpable. So my question to you, okay, like, I got 1 billion questions, but in that general idea of, we have memories, this city has memories. It's almost like a living being, and you can feel it. What is the neighborhood here? Because we're a city of neighborhoods, right? Like, we're known for being a city of neighborhoods.
Sure.
What neighborhood has the darkest history?
It's funny you mention it, because I'm writing about it right now. So Seattle started out with a ward system, like a lot of cities before the city.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Have now. And it was the first ward, which is now basically Pioneer Square, Soto, and Georgetown. That's where all the action happened. That's where all the saloons and brothels, that's where all the vice was concentrated.
First ward.
They called it the Bloody First Ward.
Wow.
Were there gangs down there? Was there like an actual gang that ran the first ward?
There was actually, and that's what I'm writing about. There was a family called the Clancy brothers.
Okay.
Nobody knows about them, which is weird to me. I don't know how they're not like.
Which is funny, because one of my questions is, who's a criminal from history that people should know about that they don't?
Yeah.
Well, criminals do want to get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. No, yeah. So the Clancy brothers, there was this family, the Clancys, that lived in the first ward. And the way the ward system worked, it was very corrupt. It was open to corruption.
Sure.
And the ward that had the most people basically controlled the city. They had the most political power.
Yeah.
And that, at that time, was the first ward.
What year are we talking?
1880s, 1890s, the early 1900s.
Copy.
All right.
Like about that 20 to 30 year span.
Sure.
Yeah.
They ran things, and they basically ran the city. And they operated most of the town's top saloons at the time. The biggest saloons, they owned and operated those.
Yeah.
And they ran the entire town like a gangster. If you were running for mayor at that time, you needed to get the Clancy's blessing and an endorsement in order to even stand a chance at becoming elected mayor. And in exchange for that, the Clancy's wanted something in return.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were always doing stuff. There was one time they had the police at the mayor's behest, they controlled things, closed down all their competitors' saloons and brothels and gambling parlors.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't allow them to reopen unless the owners agreed to pay them 20% of all their earnings.
Right.
And so they did. If they wanted to stay in business, they realized they had.
How many brothers were just 2, or like?
There were 5 brothers, but 2 of them were.
That's
the
how they
top
did
ones.
it.
Yeah.
It was Tom and John Clancy, and they were total gangsters. They were the town's first organized crime ring.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they had the money, and I think whoever has the money has political leverage, you know, like
for sure. Yeah. It's a very thin, I think we both know or all know. It's
there wasn't a bunch of Microsofts and Amazons back then. So you locally had like, hey, they like to drink and I'm making the money off of that.
Right.
Yeah. And that was even before Prohibition.
That was before.
Oh, yeah.
And something I had learned from you.
There was probably like cocaine, medicinal
cocaine. They were doing cocaine.
Well, there were early cocaine dealers in Pioneer Square, and I wrote about that too.
Okay.
History links.
Man, nothing's new around here. Yeah.
Oh, no. That's another thing, you know, people, when they're clutching their pearls about the fentanyl epidemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad, all right? It's obviously a problem and it's causing people harm and stuff, but this is not our first rodeo.
Not at all.
No.
All you need to do is go back to the 80s and 90s. You don't even need to go back to
the turn of the century. All the opium dens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and back then you didn't have any medical like oversight or anything. So people probably just died and they just rolled them, you know, off the dock or something, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was back when they were doing they're like, you got demons in your blood, do this cocaine.
Hey, sounds good to me.
Sounds about right. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I had demons in my blood a lot when I was 20.
I think I picked up some demons.
No, all the medicines back then had either opiates or cocaine in it. Like they had children's toothing drops for when children are getting their teeth are growing in.
Yeah, sure.
Cocaine. Just cocaine.
It'll numb the shit out of you for sure.
Yeah.
And that was, so their run was like a 30, 40 year run. How were they?
About 25 years.
How were they finally deposed? Was it bloody or did they just give up?
Well, a lot of cities at the time realized the ward system wasn't, ideally suited. It was just too open for corruption. Like over in New York, you probably heard of Tammany Hall and Boss Tweed. That was their ward system over there. And the same thing was happening here.
What was it about the ward system that made it corruptible? It just seems like just a way of dividing up.
What exactly is a ward system, I guess, too?
No, it's a good question. So the ward system was an early way that they would kind of divide the city politically. And each ward was kind of in charge of their own affairs. And then they would people within each respective ward would elect a ward boss. And so for the first ward, it was the Clancys. They were the ward bosses for.
And they're Irish, right? They were Irish dudes?
They were Irish, that's correct.
So in other words, there's no like state oversight or county oversight, or they're just like kind of like, hey, if you had a few good bars, you could run a ward. And if you were in the most populated ward,
that's how it ran.
And the cops were actually privatized at that point, right? Essentially.
Pretty much.
Right. Like
Clancy's controlled the cops and the mayor and all that.
Oh, yeah. In that system, you can buy whatever you want.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, like when a lot of infrastructure was first started, like, fire departments and stuff like that, that was all.
Oh, yeah.
People, that was like a private business, right? They were like, hey, we're going to be a fire brigade before we actually started taking taxes and made that. Yeah.
Correct. They did it out of necessity.
Yeah. That's crazy.
God, I'm learning so much already.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
So how did these guys get did someone come along?
Well, they changed the political system to the city council they call it the at-large city council, where the entire city votes on each of the candidates, like what we have now.
Okay.
Just to kind of even it out. That way, not one neighborhood is controlling the rest of the city.
Right.
And when that happened, they lost their power. So,
yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't know, like early 1900s.
It was, they came in power like in the late 1870s. It was their uncle was the first ward boss. And then the nephews, Tom and John Clancy. And they were in power, I want to say, until about 1910.
Oh, crazy.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I've worked in buildings on Capitol Hill that were built in like 1905 or 1907.
Sure.
So it's just interesting to picture that, like, people in this building would go down there and enter into the Clancy's domain, and party and do whatever. Right?
And the saloons at that time were crazy. They were just nuts. The box houses and everything.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
What's a box house?
Yeah.
A box house was kind of a Seattle creation.
Okay.
And basically it was kind of so it was a big open floor plan where you could go and gamble and have drinks. And then they had a stage where women would get up and do suggestive dancing. It was kind of like a precursor to burlesque.
It sounds like something that I've been involved in.
It sounds like exactly where me and Thorne would basically have carved out a reputation for ourselves.
100%. It could be argued I did actually carve out a reputation. Yeah.
Well, and then they had, where it got its name, they had these little like kind of cubicles or boxes or cribs. Mm-hmm. These little private rooms, and usually there was just a couch or a bed on there with a curtain. And if you were out on the floor gambling, you liked what you saw on stage, and you could maybe negotiate a transaction in one of these cubicles.
That's crazy cool.
Yeah. Get yourself a little VIP room. Get yourself a little bottle service.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you could negotiate a bottle,
Yeah. I'm sure you can negotiate whatever at that point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give me some of that kid's tooth medicine. I think I could use that in here.
Teeth here.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of John Considine.
No.
He was the king of the box houses back then. He was a contemporary of the Clancys, and he had a lot.
Were they warring or were they?
No, he was friends with them. He was on the Clancy's good side. At one point, he had a lot of power too in the First Ward. He wasn't a boss or anything, but he was one of the top players. But he and the chief of the Seattle police had a falling out. They used to be business partners. This guy William Meredith. And so William Meredith, when he became police chief, started going after Considine, trying to close his box houses. Yeah. Considine had, like I said, a lot of political power. So he set out these kind of false rumors about Meredith and got him fired from his positions.
What were the rumors?
Like he was using prostitutes and stuff like that.
Were they false or were they real rumors?
It's never been verified. They were probably true, knowing everything that was going on back then. Meredith got super pissed off and went and grabbed some guns and went looking for Considine. Okay. Found him in a downtown drugstore down on 2nd Avenue, in what is now Pioneer Square, and they had a big shootout.
Wow.
Considine ended up shooting William Meredith dead. It was a huge scandal at the time. It was like front page news.
Wow.
He got acquitted on grounds of self-defense, and then he got out and he basically invented vaudeville. You've ever heard of vaudeville?
Absolutely.
Vaudeville.
Yeah.
Seattle was one of the birthplaces of vaudeville, and Considine was one of the main. He used his experience from the box houses to take it to a new level of showbiz. And
that's crazy.
He was a visionary.
He was a visionary,
Vice does really always kind of inform the arts.
Well,
they're intertwined a lot.
There's an intersectionality there.
Well, where do artists want to hang out? You know?
Right.
Artists are by nature experimental and want to try things out, and they're willing to go into dangerous places to do it.
And,
Well, and everything that we take as standard practice or even commonplace or even pedestrian these days at some point was avant-garde.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It was on the edge.
Yeah.
Right. Like it was.
Before it becomes mainstream.
Yeah. Before it becomes everything was avant-garde at one point. Even the most boring roll your eyes.
At some point, you really didn't want your kids listening to jazz.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now it's, some people view it as almost dorky. Like jazz.
You got to be a nerd. Yeah, totally.
Right.
Nerds.
I love jazz myself, but
same, dude. I'm a huge bebop.
I grew up playing saxophone, so it got in me. There's no getting around it.
If I'm catching this timeline right, and from doing a little research on the stuff that you've put out, I learned that. So it was in 1917 that the country went into Prohibition, right? But we went into 1920, but we went into Prohibition here earlier than that.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, I did hear about that.
1916. So we were a whole 4 years early.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Well,
was that some holy rollers or?
Was it because we were just kicking ass and taking names as far as partying goes, and people were like, "Hey, we got a hangover. We need to chill out here."
Actually, that is kind of what was going on, especially Seattle. No, there was a big temperance movement with groups like the Anti-Saloon League and the Women's Christian Temperance Union.
The Anti-Saloon League.
Yeah, kind of name says it all, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like you know what their agenda is right off.
It's self-explanatory.
It's a bit on the nose, but I get it.
Yeah. Thanks for being clear.
Yeah. These groups started gaining a lot of power, and they started in the Midwest and they spread, and Seattle quickly got a chapter. And basically Seattle was kind of the capital of Vice especially following the Alaskan gold rush.
Yeah.
For the West Coast?
For the entire world.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I want you to write that down. All right? All right, California, we want our fucking respect.
Yeah.
Like, we want our goddamn respect. Yeah. You can write in these comments the big I'm sorry.
That's right.
All right.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Seattle was kind of like the Las Vegas of its time for a while. We just had a huge concentration of brothels and box houses and saloons.
I love that term, box house. It's like,
isn't that great?
I want to brand something box house, right? Like box house t-shirts or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a Seattle creation. It really is. It was created here.
So obviously there was probably like, there was crime and there's fighting and there was like, because when people get drunk and there's women around, you know, like that happens.
All the above. Yeah.
And that just added fuel to the anti-saloon league.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I feel like they could have been even more effective if they had been a little slicker with the name.
Right.
But I guess, you know, it was different times.
Different times.
Yeah.
No, they became very politically powerful, this temperance movement. And a lot of states started going dry leading up to national prohibition. There was actually like a whole era of prohibition before national prohibition with all these states going dry.
So it's basically like, if those crazy fuckers over there that party this much are going dry, we should take it serious. They're like pointing at Seattle and they're like, the frontier is going dry. Yeah. We should probably figure it out. Yeah. Right. Like,
so while we led the way in crime, we also led the way in anti-crime.
Kinda.
Right. There was, the pendulum, right? It's always about the pendulum.
It is about the pendulum.
It always swings, dude.
It always swings.
Yeah.
No, you're exactly right. And, yeah, that's why Washington went dry. And there's this kind of misconception about prohibition that it was all about alcohol. Like they wanted to stamp out alcohol.
Okay.
That's part of it. It was mostly the places where alcohol was consumed that fueled the temperance movement.
That makes sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Well, let's face it. A bunch of people drinking at home, nobody's going to care because nobody sees it.
Right.
But out in public, you know, front facing right in our downtown area, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a really good point, D. And one of the things I would love for you to tell us about is the infamous bucket of blood.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit what that is?
Well, so bucket of blood, it was kind of a general term that they used for some of the real like crazy saloons back at the time.
Wasn't there one specifically in Pioneer Square called that?
There was in what is now the International District. There was a speakeasy they uncovered actually when I was writing my Prohibition book. It was in oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the building right now. It was where the Wah-Mee massacre took place in the 80s, if you guys remember that.
Oh, wow.
When the Chinese triad opened fire at this illegal gambling hall and a bunch of people got killed.
That's funny. I was young, but I remember that being a thing.
This is like, okay, you're going to have to tell us both those stories.
Yeah.
Anyway, this building in the ID, they were renovating it. And they were opening one section of it that had just been kind of sealed off, and they opened it up, and instantly they could recognize it was an old speakeasy. I mean, it even had the metal door with the little slot. Give them a password or whatever.
Yeah.
They'd let you in, and on the walls, on the stairs leading down to where the club was these beautiful murals showing people from the 1920s being out for a night of partying,
being beautiful people.
Yeah, and the cool thing about these murals is it was like mixed race. It even showed mixed race couples.
That's hella Seattle right there.
That is.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's very Seattle.
The black and tan clubs. Mixed race clientele, and this was obviously a black and tan club.
Black and tan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there was not too many places in America where they had black and tan clubs, but Seattle was one of the very few cities where that was even a thing.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but in the South End, right after Columbia City, now there's a black and tan hall, right? I believe there is,
and that's where they got the name from.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I never knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, all the jazz clubs on Jackson Street were black and tan clubs, and then all the roadhouses on Highway 99, most of those were black and tan clubs too. Which
I don't know if you got a chance to like so much here to mine. I don't know if you got a chance to catch the stuff about the roadhouses, but like, tell us about that. That's some interesting. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So the roadhouses. So during Prohibition, and then the mid-20s, like you said, the pendulum kept swinging, and in the mid-20s, it swung where they wanted to stamp out. It just gotten too crazy in the city, so they wanted to close down all the speakeasies and stuff. So the sheriff began an active campaign to chase them all away. At the same time, the early highway systems were opening up.
Yeah.
So all the speakeasy owners just started opening up these places along the newly open highways just outside county limits where the sheriff and the Seattle Police Department couldn't reach them.
Yeah.
And they became basically this entire network of speakeasies, more or less, known as roadhouses. And
did the term roadhouse come from those?
No, it came from Alaska. It originated in Alaska. With the Alaskan gold rush, there were these lodges called roadhouses where people on their way to the gold fields would stay. And there was a lot of drinking and gambling at these places. Of course. So that's kind of where it started.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And the name just carried over.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's really cool.
What
about that bucket of blood, though? I feel like we missed a couple steps on
So
that.
anyway, so they opened this place up. There's all these murals, including down in the club. And one of the names that this place operated under was the Bucket of Blood. And supposedly it was because they served these big chalices of beer, like dark beer in these cups. And Bucket of Blood. At least that's what my research has uncovered.
Interesting.
But again, I think it was just kind of a generic term they used for really rowdy drinking establishments. And I think this was one of them.
Are there pictures of these murals anywhere?
Yeah, they're still around. You can still go and see them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm bringing a group down to see them too. You guys should join.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
These murals are incredible to see.
I'll clear my calendar whatever day that is.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting rescheduled. Yeah.
But I was one of the first ones when they first discovered it. I had just been at the National Archives researching it, and I had just happened to read about this place, the speakeasy that got popped by the feds called the Bucket of Blood, and it was this place. So I brought it to the owner, and she was like, come check it out.
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
I got to see it, it was a really cool moment. So
absolutely. Yeah.
If you could interview anybody from Seattle's history, who would it be?
Oh man.
And why?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it'd probably be Al Hubbard, the subject of my second book. That guy was just fascinating, one of the most interesting characters of the 20th century, and a lot of people don't know about him, but
not related to old Mother Hubbard.
No.
Or L. Ron.
Or L. Ron Hubbard.
Or no, I get asked that question a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
No, he started out.
He kind of has a little bit of the same bent though, right? Like he was
he was Roy Olmstead, the top bootlegger in Seattle during the time. He was his right-hand man, his tech guy. And
to hide stuff? What do you mean by
to install communications equipment above? So Roy Olmstead, he had his Great Gatsby period for like the first 5 years of the 1920s.
Sure.
And the Fed started closing in on him, and he realized I need to do something to stay ahead. So he hired this mad inventor guy, Al Hubbard, to come be his tech guy and create communication equipment to stay ahead of the feds.
Yeah.
They weren't using that technology wasn't being used yet.
Yeah.
And so he did, and he quickly became Roy Olmstead's right-hand man. And then
what kind of tech were we talking about? Like, are we talking like Morse code sending stuff or like
actual communication, like Roger,
two-way radios.
Two-way radios.
Yeah.
That wasn't quite a thing yet. So that would have been given them a really technological head start. And then years later, Hubbard would become one of the pioneers of psychedelics, and they called him the Johnny Appleseed of LSD.
Okay.
And even everything, his life in between being a Prohibition era bootlegger and psychedelic pioneer is crazy. He was like this secret spy during World War II and a uranium millionaire and owned his own island up in the San Juans where he developed the template for what we now know as psychedelic therapy.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. There's
how are these?
That's why I want to interview this
common knowledge.
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing this stuff out.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I'm
trying to spread.
Well, and okay, I would love to say that it's because we have a Seattle bent. But at the same time, this is fucking fascinating. Like, I don't give a fuck where you're from. Like, these are fascinating characters.
Every place has history, but not every place gets their history written until someone takes it upon themselves to do so.
And that's what I'm trying to do with these characters.
I think it's because it feels like you got to work your way through a whole bunch of boring or just, not necessarily useful information. Right. It takes someone actually dedicated to finding that common thread and then chasing it down through the weeds.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, Seattle isn't on the front page of the Welcome to America book.
We've never been. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
We're slowly getting there.
We're working our way.
Yeah. We're about 10 steps behind.
Yeah.
And it's because of the green wall. You know what I mean? We're surrounded by mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, leave us alone. We're in a big valley.
I wish they'd leave us alone more, to be honest. I feel like we're a little too much on the map these days.
Yeah, for sure.
That happens.
Yeah. Well, at one point we were just, in our lifetimes, we were just a really big town.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we've had such unique music that has come up here.
Yeah.
The Seattle grunge music of the 90s. It was just local musicians doing their own thing, isolated from the rest of the world, and created our own sound.
A sound that actually resonated with the environment, it sounds foggy and rainy and cloudy. And
murky. Yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah.
To your knowledge, besides the Sonics, was there any musical movements before that? Like back, did we have a jazz movement? Was there any major players in any of that,
Yeah, no, we definitely had our own jazz scene going on here. A couple books have been written about it and stuff. And during Prohibition, it was jazz and big band music.
Sure.
Right.
Two things.
Yeah.
The big bands were mostly the white musicians with their big orchestras. And then most of the jazz bands were black musicians. But there was a lot of interchange between them, and they played at the same club. So they were kind of influencing each other. And in that regard,
and musicians are musicians.
And
they want to meet each other.
Exactly.
Well, it's music, like any other conversation or any other art, is a conversation.
It is.
And if you're not constantly having a conversation with somebody else, vis-a-vis your music, or like painters have been having a conversation since the first cave paintings.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything after,
Tattooers,
exactly.
Yeah,
it's informed. Yeah. It's like, whatever you do is your part of that conversation.
Yeah.
And whether you're moving the conversation forward or not, that's on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. So,
do we attract outlaws, or do we create outlaws here? Is it something to do with the water and the mountains that's creating these outlaws, or are we attracting them? I'm sure it's a bit of both, but
yeah. In the early days, we attracted them. You had groups like the Billingsley brothers come through, the first bootleggers between 1916 and 1920 that kind of ran the town.
Okay, so they were post the
Clancy's.
The post Clancy.
They were post Clancy.
Yeah.
So did the Clancy's just like take their money and kind of retire at some point? And
they stayed in the local area
and just fell back and were like, we did it.
They did that. And I think they amassed a pretty good fortune. And so I think they lived life post-award system pretty comfortably.
Yeah. Yeah.
One guy bought a house. I forget the name of it. It's apparently a famous house, and one of the Clancy brothers bought that house. And to this day, it's still a renowned house that people get excited about.
Oh, wow.
And that's where he kind of lived out his last days. Yeah.
Cool.
And then the Billingsley, like you said, so we attract them somewhat, but
the early days we attracted them, and then at some point,
we were out of the way. So I imagine if you had caught a bunch of heat in Chicago or Kansas City or wherever, you could run out here.
Yeah, where were the Billingsleys from?
And use all your experience.
Yeah. The Billingsleys were from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was it was three brothers, and the oldest brother and the ringleader was Logan Billingsley.
Okay.
His son is still alive, Bob Billingsley, who this crazy story. So Logan Billingsley was this outlaw bootlegger through several states, including Seattle. Then after Prohibition, he settled in to New York City and became a prominent businessman there. And was able to kind of bury his past. This was obviously pre-internet when you could do such a thing, and that's what he did. He had two sons late in life. One of them was Bob Billingsley, and his sons knew nothing about his criminal past.
Oh, wow.
As far as they were concerned, he was just this rich millionaire that was their dad.
Right.
Bob Billingsley, so his dad died when Bob was pretty young. And when Bob was about in his 50s, I want to say, his mom died. He went to, take care of all the family affairs.
Sure.
This trunk the back of a
steamer.
Yeah.
Opened it up, and it was all these old newspaper clippings and documents about his dad.
Logan knew who he was, dude. He kept that shit.
He did. And his son found it and rocked his world because he had no idea.
That would be crazy to find out
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
At 50 something.
Yeah, he had to go.
Yeah, you just had this whole life and a well-developed, like a really good life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And then you're like, oh, my dad fucked people up. Like,
Killed a guy in a shootout.
Sure,
from a bunch of jails and was was he
on the run the rest of his life?
He was on the lam. He escaped from 2 different Seattle jails.
Yeah.
And then landed to New York.
And landed in New York and just put his past behind him, and it never caught up with him.
Yeah.
But at some point, Bob, I think as part of his coping to accept his dad's backstory, started actively researching it. So started actually going to all the states where his dad traveled through, including Seattle, and hired me a couple years ago to ghostwrite his book. So I wrote a book about Logan Billingsley for Bob. And I think it's going to be published this year. In fact, I just got an email from Bob today, as a matter of fact, right before I came here.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's going to be happening.
Yeah, people, that's one of those things that, like, whenever I hear a story like that, I really love how complex some people are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The level of complexity to Logan is astounding.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
With knowing just that amount about him. As someone who has ran afoul of the law.
Well, you and I were just talking about it before the podcast, how things that happen in our past shape us and we become different people.
Absolutely. They inform who we are. I mean, and
who's to say if things had been different earlier in his life, if he would have just made all that money legitimately.
Right.
But for whatever reason, he ended up, that was the lane he saw in front of him.
Right.
And as soon as he could get out of it, he's like, I'm out.
Well, and his criminality actually is what taught him how to be a successful businessman.
For sure, yeah.
That's where he got his business acumen.
You learn lessons where you got to learn the lesson quick.
You learn how to hustle, negotiate, and all
there's a definite...
Getting lessons wrong is penalized quickly.
Yeah. There's a definite through line of criminality and entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
It's definitely, like, a lot of entrepreneurs I know didn't think that they had that ability. They didn't think that they would be taken serious in the real world, or it just seemed so far past what they could access.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they just accessed it where they could.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at some of the top businessmen, a lot of them did not go through like Harvard Business School.
Right, for sure.
Suddenly had it instilled in them and went on to become, it was like through the life of hard knocks.
Well, and the Ivy Leaguers are usually the guys that they hire just to do their yes man, hatchet man stuff.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's certain things that are just kind of born inside of you, and it's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just who you are. And,
for sure.
Some people, Usain Bolt just happened to be able to run faster than everyone else on earth,
For sure.
And this guy, born in Oklahoma or whatever, and he had a rare kind of entrepreneurial drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it operated in the criminal world first.
Yeah.
And he was able to make it legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his son's 50 something and finds this
Isn't that
truck.
crazy? Isn't that so wild?
I can't even imagine how much that would rock your world. Especially, I'm assuming he grew up in a life that had probably been pretty sheltered.
Very sheltered. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For sure. Well,
he grew up rich in New York, and he was, he was around other people who had money, and and then all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, all the guys that I would be terrified of, my dad would be like,
they would be terrified of him.
Shape.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, I think that, by no means am I, Logan Billingsley, but I can.
But you could probably identify.
I mean, I've been involved in some speakeasies, right? Like, so there's that, but I can tell you that my younger kids, I tell them all the time. I mean, I even say it to my older kids, be soft.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Like, just be soft. Like, that's the thing. My life lessons and what I will do to be successful in life and what I'll provide is so you guys can be soft.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's a strength in that too. It's a different kind of strength.
100%.
To be able to expose yourself in a soft way means accepting the pain emotionally that comes with that and being able to process it as you're going through.
Absolutely.
Well put.
Well, and because the truth of it is like, and I say that I've said this to my daughter, it's like, because my daughter is she wants to be tough. She wants to be like her mother more than anything. She wants to be hard punk rock girl and and that's fine. To an extent, she's that, right? Yeah. But it's like, cool, be that, but understand that mom and I are going to be spending the rest of our lives trying to learn how to be soft, right? You're going to try to be hard and you might fuck around and actually get what you want. And let me tell you, like, accessing being tough or whatever that means to you is a lot easier when you're soft than accessing softness when you're actually hard.
Well, it's easier to learn to be both of those things when you're young than it is to
100%
backtrack and figure out how to be soft later on.
That's right.
I think you know exactly what we're talking about. Trying to right size yourself, come back down to the world, and
that's hard to do later on.
Yeah, it is for sure. If Netflix got a hold of you tomorrow, or whoever, right, whatever streaming service,
and they might at some point. I feel
100%, right? And they said to you, Brad, what is the one story that we need to make a series out of? Not just a movie.
Yeah.
Right, but a series, like those good series that seri, whatever the plural of series, right?
Yeah, whatever
it is. We love, right? Like say they were, they were like, we want a Seattle version of Boardwalk Empire, or we want a Seattle version of whatever. What would that series be?
Well, I have signed an option and agreement for the Al Hubbard book. Okay. So there's a production company and they want to make it into a series. Who knows if it'll ever see the light, because it has to go through pass through a lot of different people's hands, get a lot of green lights, and you got to find a production company that's willing to make it. But they want to, and I would love to see it get made into a series because it's just such a crazy, fascinating story.
Sure, yeah.
And if it wasn't that, it would be the Seattle Prohibition story with Roy Olmstead
and all that,
runners,
which actually could be the first part of that, right? Like you could have the Olmstead be the first couple seasons, and then and then
that would be the 1928 to Yellowstone.
Yeah, that's right. Because Hubbard is a constant through the whole thing, right? Like
he is.
Yeah.
What's the highlight reel? The Hubbard highlight reel.
It starts out. He's this crazy inventor. 1919, when he's like 18 years old, and he creates this invention called the atmospheric power generator that supposedly extracted energy from the air and could then be used to power like boats and ships.
Like a perpetual
motion machine. Exactly. Which is physically impossible, but he created it.
He was on some Nikolai Tesla, not the other Tesla.
Well, yeah.
Was it a little bit, but did he know he was a huckster when he created it, or did he actually think?
That's just it. It's up for debate what this thing was. If it was all a bunch of flim-flam, a bunch of scam, there's a lot of evidence to support that, but there's also a lot of evidence to support that he created something legit, but people don't know what it was. It's very mysterious.
Okay.
It's almost like something from Ancient Aliens.
Right.
Okay.
In fact, he even said he was visited by an angel beforehand who told him he was going to create something that was going to, change the world.
Sure.
Anyway, so starts out there, then he becomes a bootlegger for Roy Olmstead.
Yeah.
Goes to prison for bootlegging, and then
how long did he do in the pen?
He was at McNeil Island for, I want to say 3 years. I think he did a 3-year stretch.
So McNeil Island's pretty old then.
It's one of the first prisons in Washington. Yeah, it was Walla Walla, WSR, and McNeil Island, I think.
That had to be a tough time back then too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I
know that the Monroe prison, that I was in, I believe was 1890 something is when that was erected.
Crazy.
Okay.
Something, or it's either like the 1890s or the first couple of years of the 1900s.
So there's a place called the Monroe Reformatory.
That's Washington State Reformatory is in the walls.
Yeah.
So there's a wall around it. And then right outside is the high school.
That's the first place that Colacurcio went to.
Yeah.
Monroe went.
Colacurcio.
Yeah. And
I knew a guy who drove him around for a couple of years.
Did you?
Yeah. He had a few stories.
I'm sure he did. Sure he did.
He was super old and not always acting like it, like super.
Yeah.
He would fight people.
Oh, yeah.
The Colacurcio fight stories are the best.
Yeah.
So it's just inside the walls right there with the guard towers or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're living in it, it feels exactly like you're in the fucking 1900s because well, they come by in the winter with those ambient thermometers that they read air temperature with.
Yeah.
They come by in the winter to make sure you're not freezing.
To death.
Yeah, to death. And then they come by in the summer to make sure you're not cooking to death.
Okay.
You're right, because it's really like drafty and
yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, not a good existence.
No, totally. It is exactly what a prison should be. It's bars and tears and and tears and tears.
Yeah.
Like,
how many years were you there?
In Monroe, I was there for 16 months.
Okay.
Something like that.
Probably felt like a lot longer.
Oh yeah. One of the worst Christmases I ever spent.
Yeah.
Well, the worst Christmas I've ever spent, I guess, would be
hard to compete with that.
Yeah. In Monroe.
So yeah.
Yeah. It was it's fucking lonely.
Yeah.
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 I do remember we got into like this weird little, very small tangent here, but like we got into this like little time period around the Winter Olympics that year where me and my celly were like locked in. We just were like, fuck it. We're not going out because we don't want to get in trouble right before Christmas. We're already bummed. Mm-hmm. And we were watching the Winter Olympics at like 3:00 in the morning, trying to figure out how curling worked. Like, still don't know to this day, right? Like, you could speculate on that all day long because they don't tell you the rules. Anyway.
So speaking of curling, so Olmstead was in, he invented a mystery power from the air machine.
Hubbard.
He went to Hubbard, yeah.
Hubbard.
And then went to prison.
Yeah, and then after prison, he kind of was off the record for a while. Then suddenly he's involved in this wild World War II secret operation.
Oh.
Where they were smuggling weapons. It was before the United States entered World War II, before Pearl Harbor. And basically we were smuggling weapons over to the Allied war effort over in Europe.
And when he talks about this part of the story, is this like a Chuck Barris CIA thing, like where we don't really know if he was doing it or like...
Kinda, yeah. He claims the OSS, which were the precursor to the CIA, recruited him.
Yeah.
Apparently because he knew the rum running route so much between here and Canada.
Yeah.
So on the West Coast here, like airplane parts, probably from Boeing, were being smuggled up to Canada, and then from there they were going over to Russia because Russia was part of the Allied war effort in World War II. They were fighting the Germans.
Well, and I think we were supplying some like off book support to China, who was being invaded by Japan right around that same time.
We were supplying all the people that were on our side. Yeah. And that was part of it. And so he was involved in this. There's not a lot of documentation, but what we do know is after World War II, suddenly he's this millionaire and he's running his own uranium business.
That's
those contracts sound mighty tasty, right? Like,
and he was a huckster,
not easy to get.
Yeah, you had to do something.
You got to know someone.
For sure.
He knew how to play the game. I think.
Yeah,
made a fortune, and so he bought his own island up in San Juan's. And
with uranium money,
like uranium, as one does.
As one does. Yeah,
that's so wild.
Driving around in a silver Rolls Royce, and he was a baller. And then in the early 50s, he got kind of intellectually restless and felt like there was something bigger for him. Claims that he was visited by another angel, second angel visit, who said, "Hey, you're gonna
about time."
Yeah. And then soon after that, he discovers early mescaline research that's taken place in Saskatchewan. Gets his hands on some mescaline. Is like, wow,
my guy,
this is incredible.
My guy, I love mescaline. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, have you tried mescaline?
Oh, dude, yeah.
A little rough to drive on, but whatever.
That's the one psychedelic I never tried back in the day.
So yes. Okay. The short story is yes. A bunch of microdots, a bunch of like they're hard beads of mescaline.
Yeah.
And yes.
Okay. Well, he was a fan himself. Mescaline was the first psychedelic in the West.
Sure.
Okay.
It was the first one people started using.
Sure.
Before mushrooms, before LSD, before MDMA.
Wow.
It was mescaline.
Yeah.
So he gets involved in this early mescaline research. Realizes
Isn't mescaline just taken from like a
cactus
like peyote.
Yeah.
Exactly. In his place on the San Juans, develops the template for psychedelic therapy. Bringing someone through a guided trip.
Yeah.
with the goal of, reaching some kind of enlightenment to help you
do whatever, break through whatever barriers.
A lot of alcoholics, they treat a lot of alcoholics with early psychedelic research. A lot of people that had, kind of drug-resistant depression and stuff, some dramatic results. It was a major movement in the 50s before the hippies got a hold of it, and Hubbard was kind of leading the way. It turned a lot of really influential people all over the world onto LSD. So that's where he got the title, the Johnny Appleseed of LSD.
All right. Yeah.
That's intense. Yeah. Like, I think we've all probably had some pretty serious trips here, but like when you trip by yourself, right, like I've never been through a guided anything like that, but I can always really easily understand how that would happen, because for me, when I'm tripping, I can't lie to myself.
Right.
Like there's something that falls away in that, and it's very, right. Like at some point I'll end up staring
you to come.
Yeah. I'll end up staring in a mirror, and it's not so I can trip out on my face. Right. I'm like, why are you like that? Like I get into these like really dark, introspective, but great. So I could see where that would be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, me too. As I was researching this story, I understood guided trips, and actually that's the responsible way you probably should take psychedelics.
Absolutely.
You look at indigenous cultures who have been using psychedelics for millennia. That's how they use the psychedelics. They have a shaman who is a guide, and he guides people through a ceremony, and there's stuff leading up to it, fasting and meditation and special diet and stuff like that. It's not here in the West, especially after the hippies got a hold of it. Most people's psychedelic experiences like yours, you drop acid with some friends and go freak out in the woods or whatever.
Or take 4 hits and go see Motley Crue.
Yeah, totally.
That was what.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've had those times too.
I roll.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I've had those times for sure too, but it's one of those times you're like, I'm just going to take this by myself. And next thing you know, you're just like, why is the world a world? And why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always strangely resistant to introspection.
Really?
Yeah. I just I think my childhood blocked out, and I'm just like,
you probably enjoyed it more without the introspection.
I learned to look forward.
The introspection was not always the great part of it.
Yeah.
I think that's what a bad trip is. I think people get too introspective and
for sure.
too deep into your psyche, and you don't want to go.
And then you're around people that are doing dumb shit. Like
that too.
The worst part about tripping is always that person. Like there's always a person that there wasn't enough acid for, and they're trying to freak you out. And you're like, dude, stop. Like, I'm going to fucking beat you up, bro.
Yeah. There's kind of like an inherent responsibility that if you know what you're doing and you're around new people, you like try to bring them out.
Sure. Yeah.
Like if they start balling up in the corner, it's like, hey, look at this coloring book or something.
Check out this new album that I found.
Yeah.
That's a good
song
one.
is always a good one.
And Hubbard understood that. I'm still don't know how he was able to figure all this out, but he understood exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. He set up his own psychedelic therapy office essentially at his place in the San Juans, and people would fly out. And if people started going south, started experiencing some existential turbulence, he had a stereo, and he put classical music on, and he had beautiful art books with beautiful artwork, and he'd be like, hey, it's okay, just let's look at this beautiful artwork.
Just vibe for a little bit.
Yeah. Steer him back on a.
Don't talk about spiders.
Yeah, less thinking, more vibing right now. I just need you to look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to figure that out, and so his template that he used is now kind of being resurrected, and you're starting to hear about psychedelic therapy more. They're treating vets with PTSD, with psychedelics, and
ketamine too. There's a lot of
ketamine and psilocybin, the mushrooms. They're using that a lot. So
I know a guy who's leading a recovery group, a drug and alcohol recovery group that is based on supervised psychedelic use or something like that. Yeah.
Damon and I both happen to be sober, right? Like, and there's different brands, right, of sobriety. And while I'm an abstinence guy, like I can fully understand why that would be beneficial. Like I'm also not like I'm a judge me not kind of right as far as like if that works for you and that gives you a full life and makes it so you don't crash your life for the rest of your life, then fucking I applaud it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
If I needed something out of sobriety and I thought that was the best way to get it, I'd do it.
Yeah, 100%. Like 100%. Yeah.
No, I'm sober these days too. Not that I hit any kind of rock bottom. It was just more of like I've done it, I've seen it, I've been there.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, the whole healthy aging thing, I want to treat my body better.
Sure.
But it's interesting right now how many people I know that have like stopped drinking and are sober for all kinds of various reasons.
Yeah.
Well, it almost feels like they went this way or that way.
It's cool that it's become kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Where now you can, if you really need to go spend $10 a drink, there's plenty of sober drinks.
Yeah.
You can do that on.
That's right.
For sure. Yeah, totally.
Right.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you about is, and you just said it with the rum running thing, that I never knew until yesterday, watching some of your stuff. So can you explain the difference between a rum runner and a bootlegger?
Yeah.
As you were talking, that question was coming to mind. Yeah.
There you go.
They get mixed up a lot. So there's bootleggers, rum runners, and moonshiners. Okay. Bootleggers is basically smuggling and selling booze on land.
Okay.
They're smuggling truckfuls of booze from one place to another. That's bootlegging.
Yeah.
Roy Olmstead, he was a bootlegger. He smuggled booze on land. He supplied all the local speakeasies with their booze. And so he was a bootlegger. Rum running is smuggling booze by ship on the water. And there was a lot of that going on.
I would imagine.
And there was a whole cottage industry of rum runners. They were their own people.
Which that's another thing I always associate with the East Coast, assuming it's all coming up from the Caribbean or something. And
well, there was that. So there was that, like in Florida,
right?
And then there was in Michigan, like in Detroit. They share a border with Canada across the Great Lakes.
Yep.
And then there was rum running here between here and Canada, where booze was legal.
For sure.
And
down through the port cities.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because it was all still legal in Canada.
Yeah. And a lot of those early rum running ships, like here, Boeing was here and they needed to outrun the Coast Guard. So they started putting airplane engines that they got from the Boeing airfield.
I heard about that.
On their ships to outrun that thing. And that was kind of the precursor to hydroplanes.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we have the hydroplane races.
That's one of them. If you look at the places where hydroplane racing is most popular, here, Detroit, Florida, it's where all the rum running took place.
Well, it's
just like NASCAR.
NASCAR. It's exactly like NASCAR. It's the boat equivalent of NASCAR.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
It's cool as fuck.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
This is my favorite episode so far.
I knew you would love this, dude. I was like,
I'm a history guy. I travel the world looking at old stuff,
Yeah.
So this is great.
Same. Yeah.
I don't even know if this is worth asking at this point, right? But
absolutely is.
What is the craziest story about Seattle that you tell people and they just think it's made up?
That's a great story. I mean, Hubbard, of course, comes.
That sounds pretty nuts.
Bonkers. It sounds like you made it up. Like,
for sure.
This guy was this inventor, and then he was a bootlegger, then he was a spy, and then LSD, and people are like, okay.
You're like, sure. Did he tell the story?
Yeah.
And I don't even care if it's true. It's so awesome. I still want to hear it.
Well, and like I said earlier, it's one of those stories that reminds me of, like, you're familiar with the Chuck Barris Gong Show CIA thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Right? Where you're just like, nobody will ever know if that was true or not.
Right.
We just won't. Right? But God damn it made for a good story.
But truth will get weird.
Truth does get weird a lot. Right? Like,
stranger than fiction, like as they say. And there's just a lot of weird, crazy stories that a lot of people don't know about. I don't know if you would describe them weird, like the Pinball Wars.
Oh yeah, no, dude, totally tell us about the Pinball Wars.
So the Pinball Wars. So pinballs originally were a form of gambling.
Right.
Okay. They were originally a game of chance versus what they are now is a game of skill. And they were kind of like early pinball machines.
I love pinball.
The flipper. I love pinball too. They didn't have flippers. They were kind of like pachinko machines where you just the ball would just land wherever and then you could win cash and prizes. And so they were a very popular form of gambling. So of course, organized crime immediately got on them. After Prohibition was repealed, organized crime was looking for a way to make money. Yeah. Since alcohol was now legal, and pinballs kind of became it. And here in Seattle, the Colacurcio brothers, led by Frank and his two brothers, Sam and Bill, were one of the first people to kind of like start operating the pinball racket here in Seattle.
Is that like 30s, 40s kind of thing?
This is late 40s into the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So post-war.
Post-war.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And so they were kind of running the pinball racket here, making a lot of money.
Oh.
And
I bet they had a few vets working for them because you got a bunch of nutty guys who know how to be violent.
Crew.
Yeah.
Well, they were brutal on their own. Like Frank Colacurcio, he was this little dude. He was 5'7", chubby, wore glasses, but if you got on his bad side, things weren't going to be looking too good for you.
You know,
in like Wolverine mode.
I've heard several firsthand stories of him, and I never knew he was small.
He was a small
because
dude.
they never the story made him sound like a beast of a dude.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, no, you hear the story.
Like 80 years old, dragging a guy into the back seat of a Lincoln and beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You know, like
all the stories. Taking on an entire bachelor party of guys because they were getting too handsy with his dancers. And
then realizing that dude is 5'7".
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
chubby.
just
a Wolverine.
But
an actual,
just a fucking savage.
Woo.
He was a savage. So anyway, they were running the pinball racket. And then the Teamsters Union was very corrupt. They were kind of an organized crime racket of their own.
Yeah.
They had a Western conference here, headquartered in Seattle, run by Dave Beck, who would eventually go to prison himself for racketeering. And then on the East Coast, God, why am I drawing a blank on his name? The guy, the Teamsters that went missing.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa, thank you. He was the one running things on the East Coast.
Oh, wow.
Here on the West Coast, they wanted to get into the pinball racket because it was making so much money and they wanted to control. So they formed two organizations. In Seattle, it was AAS, the Amusement Association of Seattle. Down in Portland, it was the Coin Machine Men.
Okay.
And
Coin Machine Men?
Yeah. And
okay,
that was the Teamsters controlled groups in both cities.
Wow.
And Portland had its own pinball war, and so did Seattle. Here in Seattle, the Teamsters formed this group, and they tried to take over the city's pinballs.
Right.
That didn't sit too well with the Colacurcios.
Nope.
So they started butting heads, and things got pretty brutal and violent. And then suddenly, these pinball headquarters where they were like these warehouses where they kept all the pinballs.
Yeah.
The ones belonging to AAS started getting blown up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Coming.
Right?
So there was this crazy series of bombings that took place here in Seattle.
What year was this?
The first one was in 1957. It was this brick building that had it was like kind of a warehouse on Queen Anne, like old solid brick building. They used dynamite to blow it up. The explosion was so big that it blew the foundation out 3 feet. This old brick concrete building, it blew the foundation out.
This is crazy because we all have this like Pollyanna idea of the 50s.
Right.
And Queen Anne.
And like when you're from mixed blood like I am, you know that Pollyanna picture didn't include my family, you know,
Sure.
but you also know that people are people and they're going to do people shit, you know, like
people do people shit.
Yeah. And so this is like really painting in some of that picture for me.
Yeah. And there was a series of bombings, including the president of AAS. He had his sports car blown up in front of his house. Now the bomb.
Were they trying to kill him or was it?
I think it was to send a message, like back off the pinballs.
Yeah.
Now these bombings, the police investigated it. This was during when payoffs were very common, though. You know, keep that in mind. These bombings were never solved, but all the bombings, the targets were all the Teamsters. The foes of the Colacurcio. So it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to kind of probably make an educated guess on who is.
It's a real coincidence.
This is
a real coincidence. I don't know why you're bothering me with this coincidence.
This is a 1+1 riddle.
Why are you bringing these coincidences to me? Right? Like I know.
Circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
We're talking about a lot of real coincidental stuff today.
People know more about this pinball war. It's just crazy.
So
bombings going
interesting
on.
and
I mean,
and the truth is it fills in question marks because you just know that there's no period of anybody's history where everyone was 100% on board with the law.
Right.
You know, and to leave that picture out, you can't know someone without knowing both sides of them. You can't know a time without knowing both sides of it.
You're correct.
You know?
Absolutely.
I couldn't put it better. Yeah, like out of all the criminals that you've written about or that you've studied, which one do you respect the most?
Probably Roy Olmstead. He was the most principled. So he was
that was the Oklahoma guy?
No, Roy Olmstead.
These guys.
He was a Seattle. He started out as a Seattle cop. And
we love a good fucking cop turn.
Yeah. He was, and he was actually had rose through the ranks, and he was a lieutenant. So
he was the bad lieutenant, the original one.
Shit, heroin Jesus.
I thought about that. But I love it. That's a good way to. That's a good nickname.
Fuck yeah, dude. That was a great movie.
Cops at that point, they were notoriously not paid very well. Their wages were really low. So a lot of them had side hustles on the side.
Sure.
To supplement their income.
Which if you need your cops to become criminals, that always works.
Yeah, right.
You know, in Mexico, it's been an epidemic for.
Are you saying we shouldn't defund them?
Look, I didn't even intentionally mean to go there. I'm just saying that countries that don't pay their cops get criminal cops.
It's how it happens.
That's what happens. It opens the door for it. And that's what happened here. And Olmstead, his side hustle was bootlegging. And he got popped for it just a few months after national prohibition took effect. He got caught just up the road from where I live in Edmonds on this beach. They set up a sting operation and they caught him. He got arrested from the force and he decided, well, like I have a family. I need to put food on the table. I'm going to become a bootlegger. Mm-hmm. And he did. But he was a very principled, they called him the gentleman bootlegger. Oh. He didn't engage in like gambling or prostitution. It was just, he smuggled top shelf booze, legit booze from Canada to here and supplied most of the city with their booze, but it was safe booze, which was
the good stuff.
The good stuff. He also abhorred violence. He saw kind of what the Billingsleys did before him with all the shootouts and stuff.
Well, he was a cop during that time.
And he was a cop during that time, exactly.
Well, and he has intimate knowledge that violence gets you busted.
Exactly. It just,
it does. It brings
unwanted attention.
If you need to go to prison, just start killing people.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. And he didn't want the smoke.
Yeah.
And so he knew that. So he didn't allow his men to carry guns. And he was almost like a folk hero here. Huh. Like he was a good dude.
Yeah.
And he tried to always do right. He didn't always, he was the classic anti-hero. Like you see on TV shows like The Sopranos.
Sure. It's the one that you're cheering for. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But he's morally ambiguous. He's in a very morally ambiguous world. Yeah. He's breaking the law. Right. But, he's trying to feed his family.
But he's doing the best by it he can at the same time.
Yeah. And then classic tale, he starts making money and I think he got seduced by it and greed takes over and he got a little carried away and that was his undoing. And that always seems to be the case. You always think like, well, if I was a bank robber, after I got $1 million, I would call it quits, but it never seems to happen that way.
Yeah.
They keep going. They get,
you get up to 800,000. You're like, man, 2 million though, really, because of inflation.
Maybe 3 million, because then I can really live. Just one more job.
Oh, wow. Houses have gone up. Well, they're making 4.
Well, one of the things that I've always told people back when I was in the streets is if you make it 2 years, dealing drugs.
Yeah.
Whether you've made $5 million or $50, stop.
Yeah.
Because you've ran your lifetime.
Yeah.
Right? Like if they're not starting to pay attention to you already, they will be.
What do you think is the percentage of people that actually heed that advice?
None.
Yeah.
99% of people shouldn't deal drugs.
Right.
Period. Right. They're not built that way. And of the 1% that do deal drugs, almost 99% of those, I'm making up that statistic, get caught.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's a very, like I've known very few people. I know one person in my head that has somehow threaded that needle for about 30 years.
Oh, okay. They have,
and he's, I'm going to make this as vague as possible. He is a good dude. He's one of these people that I've never seen him do a deal with somebody where he doesn't come out on top, but I've also never seen him fuck anybody over.
Yeah.
Right? Somehow he just...
Is he one of those dudes that is able to stay off the radar? And
he does. He does. He's never told on anybody, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? That's not how he's kept himself out of trouble. He's always had a day job.
Yeah.
or, you know, like coming up on another day job.
Yeah.
And,
I know one of those guys.
and it's been at various times. He's been way up here.
Yeah.
Or just kind of
a
little bit of down here, but like he's pulled it off.
Yeah.
And that's
and
one.
And there's a couple of major rappers out there from our generation.
Sure.
That are
able to make it.
That are known from the streets to have done.
Like Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is one for sure.
40.
You know?
I think 40 is one of them, right?
Well, I wasn't going to throw the names out there, but yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Well, the NWA crew, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing pretty well for themselves.
Easy was definitely, I mean, rest in peace, Easy, but like he was definitely like that shit had to be paid for somehow.
You know what's funny is in Copic markers, there's an E40 color.
Oh.
And that color's name is Brick White. It's just a hilarious little like, oh my God.
Little zing. The fucking twists and turns, man.
So this is cool.
This is cool. Yeah, this is okay. So we had to reschedule you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you rescheduled, I was fucking bummed, right? But I didn't want to play my hand that I was bummed, right? I was like, oh, no, that's fine. And I was like, motherfucker, right? Because I knew he would be jazzed, and I was jazzed, right? Like,
well, I spend most of my travel life. I'm out of the country about 3 months a year.
Okay,
you know, and I'm taking these tours, and whether I'm in Poland or South America, or wherever I'm at, and I'm trying to get like the guide off to the side to be like, so what's the other stuff?
Give me the real,
you know what I mean?
Give me the juicy bits.
Yeah.
Right. And as an ardent like lover and supporter, because this is Damon City, like he said it again and again, right? Like been to a shitload of cities, a shitload of countries.
Oh yeah.
And he chooses to live nowhere else. Mm-hmm. And he has a job that he could move wherever he wanted to. And to find out the salacious bits.
I love it. I love knowing that we have this like dark criminal history.
Oh boy, we sure do.
You know, that's just as interesting and maybe more so because it's lesser known.
Well, I feel like it's been hiding in kind of the recesses, and I'm trying to pull it out.
The clues are there.
The clues are there.
You know?
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Before we move on, like after this question, I definitely want to talk about, is it Colacurcio? Is that how you pronounce it?
Colacurcio.
Colacurcio.
Yeah, I've probably been murdering.
Yeah, me too. Colacurcio. So before we get to that, do we know if there are bodies in Lake Washington?
Connected to the Colacurcio?
Well, no, not in.
Okay.
No,
in general.
Never suggested.
For people who don't know, there's a north end of Seattle and there's a south end of Seattle, and then there's water on either side.
Yep.
There's a lot of places that people could disappear.
Yeah. Do I've speculated for years.
I mean, there's a lot of unsolved murders and unsolved disappearances.
I'm just going to
I'm going to make an educated guess and probably say
If I were to throw some bodies somewhere, and I lived here, it would be in Lake Washington. Just concrete on
good a place as any.
Give him, sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah. And less salt to preserve the bodies too.
There you go.
Good point.
Now we've reached the moment. Tell us the one person that greater reality society might know about is Frank Colacurcio.
Yeah.
And tell us about the man, the myth, and the legend. Who was this? What did he do?
How did he come to be? Like,
we know the Pinball Wars, but we also know that he owned most of the gentlemen's clubs.
Yeah, no, he's fascinating because his criminal career spans over so many decades,
right,
and touches on a lot of kind of interesting sections of Seattle history. But he was born here in Seattle.
He lived a long time.
He died in his 90s.
Yeah.
Yep. No, he lived into a ripe old age, which is surprising because he lived a pretty hard life.
Yeah.
What was his early life like before what?
So his family, Italian American, they all lived on a family farm in what is now basically Boeing Field. And they were part of the Garlic Gulch community. There was an Italian community here in what is now Beacon Hill. They were part of that community.
Do we know what part of Italy that his family was from? Or
I think it was like the southern region. His parents immigrated here, landed in Philly, and then eventually ended up in Seattle where they started a farm. And that's where Frank and
so we're talking Boeing Field in the south end.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they were born on this family farm. You know, it was a pretty hard scrabble life.
Yeah.
And Frank dropped out of school in the 8th grade, worked on the family farm, worked a bunch of odd jobs, eventually started his own trucking business.
Okay.
And from there...
Trucking could come in handy.
Trucking could come in handy.
Yeah.
So he started making deliveries to local businesses and stuff, especially in downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
One of his stops was a popular nightclub, and apparently one night the jukebox at this place broke down. Frank knew a guy who could repair it, so he made a connection there, and other people started reaching out to him, and that was his entry into the coin-operated business.
Okay.
And he quickly saw dollar signs in his eyes and was like, there's a lot of money to be made here. So him and his brothers started their own amusement company supplying pinballs and jukeboxes and cigarette machines to local taverns and barber shops and nightclubs and places like that.
How many brothers?
I think he had 5 brothers and 3 sisters, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was total 8 kids.
Life on the farm without a TV.
Yep. Yep.
Make those kids.
Well, you need them for the farm.
Yeah.
You need the free help.
Right.
You do need the free help. Yeah. And a lot of his brothers.
What were they farming?
Just produce, and then they would sell the produce at the Pike Place Market.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they would truck it over there and sell it at the market.
Perfect.
They were one of the local, like if you go there now and buy, you see produce suppliers.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were the early version of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was his entry into the pinball trade. And then of course, like the Pinball Wars that I told you about.
Yeah.
Eventually the city, because of the Pinball Wars, in order to operate, you had to have licenses for each pinball machine and jukebox. That's how the city made their money. And they basically voted to not give the Colacurcios any more pinball licenses.
Oh.
Guys, too many boom booms around the city.
Yeah.
Outstage your welcome.
You got to figure something else.
Right.
Yeah. So then they got in the restaurant business. They operated a nightclub at the Seattle World's Fair, the 1962 Seattle World's Fair.
What was it called?
Oh, wow.
The Diamond Horseshoe.
Oh, I love it.
The Diamond Horseshoe.
The Diamond Horseshoe.
That literally sounds like it's so on the nose that it sounds like you put it in a mafia nightclub generator.
Yeah.
Like name generator or like asked AI to generate a mafia night. And they're like, the Diamond Horseshoe. You're like, of course. Of course it was.
Yeah.
I have no idea what nobody knows what that means. It just sounds classy.
No, there's like 10 words on each side. You pick one of each. And,
it works. Diamond Horseshoe. Yep. I know there's this whole place in the Seattle World's Fair where they had a lot of, it was kind of an adults only section of the fair. They called it Show Street.
Really?
Oh.
And it was nothing too raunchy.
How do we not know this?
Right.
It was, like burlesque and.
Sure. So they're titties with tassels.
Yeah, exactly. Topless.
Yeah.
About as extreme as it got.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find the kids' place and let them go, and you're like, all right, we're gonna go.
We're gonna go grab some cocktails at the Diamond Horseshoe.
Almost tame, almost like what some women you do as a hobby these days.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very titillating at the time.
Right. Yeah, at the time it was very risque, and by today's standards.
Now they have classes for it down.
Yeah.
Like over there you can take for. Yeah.
So, and then from there, after the fair, he started operating the cocktail club at the Moore Hotel. It was called the the Firelight.
Yeah, it was still there. Is it?
It's now known as the Nightlight. Back then it was the Firelight, and he basically kind of took it over. That was kind of how they operated. And at the Firelight, he introduced go-go dancing into Seattle, but he introduced his own version of it, which became like what modern strip clubs are.
Was it his brainchild? Did he just sit there one day and was like, we need some chicks with titties?
Well, he created his own version of it. It was.
Did he see it somewhere or like?
Yeah, he saw go-go dancing. It started a couple years before that. It was big. It started in Europe, and then it was down in California, in Los Angeles, and he was the first one to open the first go-go club here at the Firelight.
Wow.
And
that's a wild place for it to happen.
Twist on it. So mostly like early strip clubs. There were strip clubs before that.
Sure.
But they would basically, the way strip clubs originally operated is, the woman would come out on stage. There was a live band there and she would do her number. she might go topless, wolf whistles and stuff from the audience, and then she would bow out. And
well, the box houses had some of that, right?
And the box houses had some of that too. With Colacurcio, he introduced table dancing, lap dances started at the firelight. And he was also
lap dances or lap dances, like, or,
well,
yeah.
Both.
Yeah. Eventually, someone needs a competitive edge.
Yeah, totally. Smoke leads the fire.
That's right.
Yeah. And he also, and I think this was just a money saving thing, he got rid of the live bands. It used to be kind of like jazz bands.
Yeah.
And he was the first one to have a DJ come out and play pre-recorded music.
Yeah.
Announced
what year was it? What year?
This was in 1965.
Jesus.
Well, and also,
so is this
he invented strip club.
Well, and also he was out of like jukebox licenses.
Yeah.
So he needed to have a DJ.
Yeah.
Like the band's too much. I can't get any more of these licenses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was he the creator of it for the whole country?
Well, he created that template.
That's what I mean, right? The one,
and then it spread. So modern strip club music, as we know it today, basically originated at the Firelight, thanks to Frank Colacurcio.
Thank you. Thanks to Frank Colacurcio.
Everything starts in Seattle, right?
Yeah. And it's funny. It starts here, runs away, and then people are like, Seattle fucking sucks. It doesn't give anything to the world.
Right.
Like, what about teriyaki, dog? Like, what are you talking about?
Wake up.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And so the Firelight instantly was like an overnight success. Suddenly there's lines of people.
Surprise.
I would imagine.
Lap dances and this and that, table dances.
Lap dances.
So that was their entry into the adult entertainment industry, and they just took off from there. And basically they operated on and off from the mid 60s, starting with the Firelight on pretty much until he died in 2010. They were
Which that's a long run.
It is a long run,
dude, man.
That's like, yeah, it really is.
It is a long.
Start it, hold on to it, not let a lot of competition in, and ride that thing for 50 years.
How active was his family with him?
So his brothers kind of spread off, and they started opening their own strip clubs in other parts. In the 70s was really his heyday. They were operating in 10 different states.
Wow.
Jesus, I did not know that.
They had this whole formula that they would follow. So basically what they would do is they had their own, it was called Talents West. And it was basically like a staffing agency that would supply places with dancers primarily, but also bouncers and club managers.
I've picked up and dropped off a couple of friends there.
Talents West on Lake City Way.
And DJs.
Yep, absolutely. And so what they would do is they would send out scouts and they would look for taverns and nightclubs and
for
stuff
talent
that were struggling financially. They kind of developed a knack for finding these places. They would go in, they would chum it up with the owner, and then at some point, they lay the hook and, hey, we're good at rehabbing. We could really turn this place around for you if you want. I can offer you a free consultation. So of course the guys, the owners were like, business partners were like, sure, I can figure out a way where, you could definitely be making a lot of money here. You have a lot of potential to make a lot of money.
I could figure out a way.
And usually there was a lot of like remodel, you need a new sound system, you need a new bar, you need new this, chairs, that. And inevitably the owner, because they were financially struggling, would be like, well, that sounds great, but I can't really afford it.
Well, just give me a piece.
So the Colacurcios would be like, well, we can loan you some money. We do that all the time. We could loan you and it, at this interest rate, and then we become business partners and you pay us back. So, of course, at some point, as soon as the payments fell behind, the Colacurcios would just take over the place.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
One day the owner shows up and someone's in the Colacurcios are in his office. Basically, we're renting things now.
Yeah.
It's been fun, but we'll take it from here.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then they would turn it into a top.
This can hurt as much as you need it to, but
totally. It's just not
I think there were.
It's not a suggestion or a question.
Yeah. They had to take them out back. Usually the message was sent pretty clear.
Yeah.
And then they would turn it into a topless place and staffed by dancers from Talents West.
Yeah.
And so at their peak in the 70s, they were operating in 10 different states.
I'm sure it was state by state, but was it just topless?
It was mostly strip clubs. And then part of their racket was they had all these strip clubs that were operating Of course, this was, mostly cash. A lot of these places operate on a strictly cash basis.
Yeah.
I never met a stripper that took fucking square.
Right?
Yeah.
But
these days, who knows?
Probably.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
In fact, I think it
Cash App or Venmo.
I was talking to Frank Jr. and apparently, that's what you do. You buy tokens now with a ATM machine. You can use your card to buy tokens.
Well, I remember they've always sold the tokens, but you could use cash.
You could use cash.
Yeah.
I think cash still probably
Cash is king.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Make it rain.
I would like to hope so.
Cash.
Yeah.
Cash.
There's that tactile experience.
Yeah.
Cash, gold brands, cigarette cartons. There's a few things that will always be
in the physical form.
Tangible.
Yeah. But so they would underreport their earnings. It was called skimming, and it was easy to do with cash.
Yeah.
And that's usually what he got popped for. He went to prison, I think,
Frank did?
5 different times. Frank.
For how long?
Usually most times it was like 3 to 5 years.
He didn't give a fuck though.
McNeil Island was down in Texas, Oregon, California, because it was usually the feds getting him, so they would send him to a different federal prison.
Was Texas one of the places that he set up strip clubs?
It was one of the places. And that's when his brothers were involved.
Because they really took the ball and ran with it.
Oh, they did.
They really
They absolutely did. Yeah.
And I think the Colacurcios probably, planted the seeds to a great extent.
Yeah.
For all that to happen.
Wow.
And so he was usually getting popped for basically income tax evasion for underreporting his earnings. But the thing that finally did him in is they had a system set up where basically, this is another element of modern strip club that I think they created, where the dancers, instead of being paid like a wage, an hourly wage or whatever, they would actually pay a rental fee to the Colacurcios to dance on the stage.
Per night.
Per night. And, some spots were more premium than others. Friday and Saturday nights, probably you pay a higher premium.
Right.
And then they would pay the Colacurcios. That's how the Colacurcios would get their take. And then any extra money was theirs.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of dancers ran into situations where they weren't able to even make rent. They just weren't making money.
Yeah.
And so the implication was, well, we have VIP rooms in the back. Sometimes, maybe if you do a little extra, that will earn you some extra income. It was never put in writing.
Oh, right.
So it was pretty much, well understood that certain extra services performed could earn you extra money, and that's how you can make your rent and make extra money.
Yeah.
So they were basically, promoting prostitution.
Yeah.
The big one here in Seattle was Rick's on Lake City Way.
Who's Rick's name? Rick named after? Who is Rick?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
That is actually
me too.
Question. I don't know why.
Who the fuck is Rick?
Yeah. I'll have to ask Junior that next time.
Yeah.
That's dude. Yeah. Because
inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I don't know how private of a person Junior is, but like at some point, if we could ever get like Junior on the podcast, that'd be amazing.
I'll ask him. He's surprisingly, he's like a real
down to earth,
nice, humble guy. And I didn't know what to expect when I first started interviewing him.
Were you tight about it? Was it like something that you were like?
I was nervous the first time I went down to Kitten's Cabaret to interview him in the back room. I even texted my family. I was like, okay, just so you know, I'm here.
Yeah.
A lot of things. I'd be willing to bet that some people have been beaten up in that room.
Well, I was worried about that. I was going to be asking too many questions or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing.
Like a battering ram.
Like there's definitely part of both Damon and I that run towards the outlaw, and I think it's always going to run. Yeah. So all respect to things that want to be kept private, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know there's things that he has kept close to the chest, and I expected that.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's not going to just completely open up to me. But no, he's been super cordial and nice. He even brought old family photo albums. The recent biography I wrote of Frank Colacurcio for History Link has a lot of those photos in it that he was able to share with me, and I was able to scan. So he's been super helpful and wonderful. And I've been open about what I'm going to write.
He knows.
He knows his dad's story and everything that happened.
Well, but he also knows that his dad is like an integral part of Seattle history.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And
he's a legend.
That history affected much of the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By his
More
own
than I do.
and that's really cool to know that.
Yeah.
He's a legend, and Rick is a legend, whoever that is.
Whoever that is, I know, man.
See, I do need to get to the bottom of that. No, it's interesting, but people have a weird conflicting views on Frank. Like even after I wrote the biography, I got a lot of messages, and a lot of people were either like, that guy was a legend, like you guys are saying, or the guy was a total scumbag. And like people have even unfollowed me on social media. Like I'm somehow.
I would venture to guess it's both and.
It is.
Just like everything.
Yeah. Well, he was a hard man, for sure,
Yeah. No, he had the duality of both sides. And even interviewing people, I heard everything. Like I interviewed ex-dancers that said, basically he was the salt of the earth. He'd give you the shirt on his back if you wanted it. Super nice guy. And then other people that, he was a monster. And he was.
Both and.
Well, every tough guy I've ever known has been a protector at heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 100%. And certainly not every one of their fight stories has been pure as driven snow, but they were the person that if you knew them, they would swim the ocean to loan you a nickel,
And you hear that about Frank a lot.
Yeah.
That he was just a real one of those kind of stand-up guys when you really needed him. But if you crossed him or you tried to do him dirty, you wouldn't see the good side of him.
And I like to think you should know better.
That's on you. Like if you're at a certain point, that's on you.
If you're going to sing a line of bullshit to someone, you just pick someone else.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's probably not the guy.
No.
He's not. He wasn't the guy.
Oh, man.
But yeah, people have very conflicting views on him. And I got to say too, in writing the stories of these people, I understand that. So I'm not trying to put these people on a pedestal. In fact, I like it when people come to their own conclusions after reading my
100%.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to sway people's opinions one way or the other. I'm just like, it's kind of like, here's the facts of the stories. I found them. You can arrive at your own conclusion. But
that's the best history.
I try to.
It's my favorite thing about like the YouTube generation of being able to just go and see people telling history and actually just kind of telling it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's cool to meet someone that's what you're about, is just, everything's got a spin these days.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And let us hear the story and decide it for ourselves.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I think, and like not to get in a fucking bashing on Western society, but I think that's a very Western thing. Like we get narratives that like have to be shaped, and there has to be a redemptive arc, and there has to be all of these things. And that's just not the way that the world really is.
No, it's not.
The plane doesn't get pulled up a lot of the time.
No.
The hooker doesn't have a heart of gold. Right. There isn't some fucking moral reveal.
Tin or
totally. But there's not some grand moral reveal at the end where everybody gets to feel with the journey they went through.
Everyone thinks come by at the end.
Yeah, it just doesn't fucking happen. And we are, as a species, we're morally fucking complex.
Absolutely.
We are
absolutely
like I can contradict myself. I can say 9 different things in one statement that are contradictory, and all of them are also the truth.
Yeah.
That's the way that fucking reality actually works. And when you say someone's a legend, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a good fucking person.
Right.
That means that they've cut such a huge swath in history that you have to fucking recognize them.
Right.
Well, and there's a lot of people, I think part of that too is realizing that a lot of our heroes that we think are spotless are not either.
No.
They all beat someone up when they were a kid. They made someone feel
100%.
Small. Like we're humans. We make mistakes.
Well, and that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and if you look at like contemporary pop culture, you see that. And I think that's why certain TV shows like The Sopranos, The Wire, and Breaking Bad are so popular, because it's these anti-heroes, these morally complex people that are trying to be good people, but they're put in these situations where sometimes they got to be bad people. And I think people can relate to that.
We've all been in those situations where we thought we were doing the right thing, and then all of a sudden we're in a situation where we've got 2 bad options.
Yeah.
And we got to pick one.
Well, even everyday life, like I don't know. Let's say you go to the grocery store and buy some stuff. You get home, you're unloading your groceries. You look at the receipt and you realize they forgot to ring up the $25 worth of salmon I got. Are you going to go back to the store and resolve it? Or are you going to be like, free salmon?
Right.
And you know, people face situations like that all the time. So I think just life in general is kind of morally ambiguous. So I think that's why these stories people enjoy reading about them?
Well, again, here's a contradictory thing. We were talking earlier. My kids are soft, and I kind of push them towards being like, just be cool, right? You don't have to be a tough guy. Like, you don't have to have that path. But I think that said, here's the end of that, right? The end of that is, it's a very modern issue with the softness of people where they don't like things to be morally complex.
Yeah.
Everything has to be overly polarized. Everything has to be this. Yeah. There's common thing. And I hate to say it's just the young people, because I don't think it is, but it's very prevalent in the youngsters or the younger people. That is like, man, nobody's pure.
Yeah.
We've all fucked up.
Sure.
Like you have fucked up. You have been a bad person.
Sure.
And this idea that like, that isn't true.
Right.
Right. And it's just like this weird, like purity fucking competition.
And reality is messy.
We're all messy. Yeah. Every single fucking one of us. If you made it this far,
absolutely,
in our generation, and this is the thing that cracks me up, because I see people chastising other people online, and I'm like, bro, I remember you when you were fucking using.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you are not a good person.
Right.
Like you might have become a better person.
Yeah. Exactly. Have the moral compass here.
Yeah. Like, let's not pretend. Right. Like, and there's been this weird push for everything to be this or that.
Yeah.
And it's not true.
And recognizing the messiness of life is supposed to give us compassion for well-meaning people who make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Whereas there's, you know, online, and I know the algorithm rewards negativity, but there is a definite lack of compassion for our fellow man, who we are in the trenches of life together with them.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. We are not the billionaires. We're not the people who got 5 times richer in the last year and a half. We're the people who are struggling through the mess underneath all that.
100%.
Yeah.
Brad, fuck. This has been, I mean, this is the part of the show, I guess, where we got to say, what, pitch whatever the hell you want, because we will.
And that, this is one of those conversations that I feel like I could do this, you know, like, forever. I just never get tired of hearing about.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have you back.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'd love to. You would.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's great talking to you guys about all this stuff. So absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
You are Seattle Artifacts on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anything else you want to pitch? Any books? Anything? We'll put links.
Yeah. So for those interested in the story of Frank Colacurcio, I just wrote the first real biography of him for History Link. So if you go to historylink.org and type in his name, you'll find it there. For me coming up, I have an event at Seattle Town Hall. I'm going to be talking about Al Hubbard.
Cool.
There's a lady who's in.
When is that? Because I think I would love to come.
That's in the beginning of October. So a few months away, but that'll be.
Want to go to that? Want to date?
If I have, dinner? I do. If I'm not already in Mexico by then, I have 7th. I'm going to Mexico.
Okay, and I have one thing in October, which is DJ Shadow. Oh, the 30th annicversary of introducing.
Oh, that's such a great album.
And he's playing the whole album in its entirety. Yeah, at the Paramount.
Wow. Is it already sold out?
I don't know. You should check it out, though, dude.
I need to check.
I might. You know what?
Classic album.
Check this out. My wife might actually have an extra ticket if it is sold out. Let me know.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Because we got 2, and then she knew, like, that's of albums in my life. It's in my top 3.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right. And so she got, somehow she bought 2 sets of tickets because she wanted to make sure to get me the good tickets.
Right.
So if you can't get one, let me know. She might still have one. Yeah.
That's cool. Wow.
Because that's definitely something to go see.
Yeah. And then also in October, they're making a musical of my Seattle Prohibition book. Mm-hmm. So that'll be coming to the Reverie Ballroom on Capitol Hill at the Oddfellows Temple in there. Beautiful renovated space.
Upstairs?
Downstairs in the ballroom part where the stage
is.
Yeah,
that's just down the street from my shop. I'm like a block from there.
Oh, okay.
And that's the first place I did any business on Capitol Hill because I threw a rave there in '93.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. I just got over involved.
Yeah.
And then learned
like we do.
Myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we got a podcast. We both do that.
Yeah. It all comes full circle.
That's cool. How cool is that to have a musical made out of it?
Really cool.
Yeah.
No, I sat at the table reading recently with all the people who are going to be performing and reading their parts and hearing the songs and stuff. And it's going to be really, really dope.
Nice.
I think they're going to do a really good job with it. So I got that coming up. So there you go.
Cool.
All right, man. One last question.
Yeah.
Do you think Seattle has forgotten who it used to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that started happening in the late 90s after Microsoft came out and opened the doors for the tech industry to move in. And when that happened, I think that's when a lot of the old classic Seattle places started closing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, as documented by my friend Cynthia Brothers, Vanish in Seattle. She did a good job documenting that.
Oh, cool.
We love.
That's when all that started. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I think it largely has, and that's what I'm trying to do with my work is like, hey, don't forget all this rich history that's happened.
Yeah,
this is part of who made us who we are. It's not all Amazon spheres.
That's why Damon and I did the back piece.
Yeah.
Because it's an homage to. I mean, there's some things on there that are still here, of course, that are just dicks and things that are staples, right?
But they're still living reminders of what Seattle was.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things on there, and we've spent a lot of time. I mean, there's everything on my back from Razzmatazz to Lusty Lady to
I love that you got the Lusty Lady.
Chubby and Tubby to the PI sign to
all the classics.
Rock Candy,
super fun.
Hurricanes on there. Yeah.
Rock Candy, I miss that place.
Yeah. It's good times there.
So
damn, brother, thank you for. Yeah, just thank you. This has been great.
Yeah. I'm almost speechless, which is like really unfamiliar territory.
Same.
You have witnessed that, and that's just been amazing, man.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for doing this work.
Yes.
I think the work of a historian is massively underappreciated.
Well, thank you.
And I think any amount of appreciation we show still isn't enough, Yeah. That's the memory of our cities is
of our people.
Yeah.
It gives us our personality.
It's where we're from.
Yeah, it is where we're from. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yep.
Buck.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Absolutely.
That's it, baby.
All right. Cool. Yeah.